Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Virgo, April 2024 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel St. James, clairvoyant. Well, this month I have an interesting deck for you. It's called the Heindel deck, which must be well over 35 years, maybe older than that, of course. Now, with it, I will provide you with a unique perspective on the energies and influences which are surrounding you. That's the back of it, of course. And this is going to help you navigate the month with insight and with awareness, I would suggest. Now, these cards, as you know, are not they're not predictions of the future, necessarily. Not a future that's fixed anyway, but they are lenses that reflect the energies at play, and I will provide you through them with the guidance and a deeper knowledge of the path that you are on in the month. Now, of course, this month I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings for people from different parts of the world over FaceTime and Skype, and if you might be interested to see what's involved in having a one-on-one clairvoyant reading with me, just check out the information that's in the description box at the end of the video. Now, separately, I was also at birth provided with the gifts of clairvoyance, but also with the gift of healing. Now, healing, I have provided a number of healings for people over the last month from different parts of the world. Healing is provided for free. Now, the gift was given to me on the basis that I receive nothing in return for it, and I am to provide it to people who ask. And so, if you have some heartache or emotional distress or some grief or physical issue or whatever it is that you think that you might need to have healed, then don't be afraid to reach out to me. I mean, I've been providing this for well over 40 years, and I can assure you that there isn't anything that I haven't seen or heard in that time. And anyway, I forget everything that we talk about at the end of the session anyway, because I go crazy, given all the people that I deal with and happy to deal with in the course of a day and a week and longer than that. So reach out. The details are in the description, so look to see what's involved there. Now, this deck has, in addition to, now I use a lot of astrology, as you know. I also use numerology in the deck, but this deck has Chinese I Ching. It has the Viking runes, the Elder Futhark alphabet, and it also has ancient Hebrew biblical letters in it as well. Now, each of these things, for me, act as windows into the other realms, the energies that can be picked up and which will be appropriate for you for this month. So I'm looking forward to doing this, and I know that you're going to find it interesting as well. So let's get it underway, shall we? I'm just going to take 5 cards because that will be all that we will need to see what's around for you this month. And there is the Son of Stones in the West. This is the Star. See, there's a rune and a Hebrew letter. This is the Chariot, which also has a Hebrew letter and a rune, incidentally. There's another rune and Hebrew letter. There's the Strength card that's there. I wonder what it's going to mean for you this month. That it depends how all these cards interact with each other, of course. And there's the Daughter of Swords in the South, Isis. Well, Isis, the Egyptian goddess. Now, why don't you come around here? I'll bring the camera around. You and I can have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together, and I will do the reading especially for you. Let's go and look at the card you drew first, which is this Son of Stones in the West. Now, here is depicted Chief Seattle, and he was one of the last leaders of a nation of Native Americans on the northwest coast of North America. And the Squamish tribe, as I recall it, and the members of that group of people still inhabit Washington State in North America today, even. Now, looking at the picture here, his hair blends into the rock, which I think that this is indicating that he is also with the feather, suggesting that he is speaking for all of the Plains people and all of the Native American people. The lightning bolt that comes down from that whale there, that shows the bond between human and animal. I really do think that both Taurus and Aries are likely to be important to you today, at this month. Now, this is a period in which you are going to be taking responsibility for your life and being focused on what you want to achieve. You might find that you are quite good at sport or other physical activity, and you'll have an interest in design and building things. Now, I'm not suggesting that means that you're going to go out into the construction business, but things to do with your appearance, hair, makeup, clothing, fashion, and how the fit out around your home is set out. Those things are going to be important to you because you are going to be putting a lot of effort into practical things. Now, this is a time in your life when you are going to be goal-oriented and want to sort out the material side of your life. You know, those things to do with health, career, those things that are tangible for you. Now, it could also relate to somebody else here as well, and as a court, it can be either male or female. And that person, I think, is energetic, really quite good at managing things, perhaps a bit dull. I think it's a person who is quite skeptical of spirituality, someone who is slow to anger, but watch out if they have become enraged. You will be competent, quite hardworking, reliable. Now, there's a great sense of materialism around here, so I think you're going to be looking for material things to satisfy you. But you are going to be very focused. You'll have great energy in dealings with the material things in the world, and you'll be unshakable. You'll be quite sensible in how you decide what is and what is not a sensible activity to pursue. And again, this sense of physical activity is coming up as well. Now let's look at the card which sits underneath it and see what energy is being set off by it. Let me look at the image and see if it's sparking inspiration for me, and I think it is. Here we have, well, it's a Leo denomination of the card here, and so there is a lot of Leo energy around here, which means that you are going to be very creative. You might actually enjoy being in the spotlight as well. But just looking at this image that's here, this person of strength is open and without shame. Now, her strength comes from her unity with Earth and her own divine energy. She's almost like a shaman performing a ritual under the moon in the woods by a pool of water, isn't she? The pool is the unconscious, I think, the hidden mysteries. Now, what you'll find is that she's also, by holding up the snake, this shaman connects the above with the below, the sky and the earth. Now, this snake that's here, it's green, which is the color of new life, and its underside is red, which says that there's going to be a lot of energy inside of you and coming out of you. I want to look at this Viking rune that's here. Look, the story of how the Vikings came to come about the runes is in the story of Odin, who was the king of the Norse gods. Odin was a great seeker of wisdom, so much so that in order to obtain some wisdom at a point, he was instructed to demonstrate that he was worthy of it by tearing out his own eye, which he did. So he is depicted always as having one eye only that works. And what he did was he hung from the tree of life upside down for 9 days and 9 nights, staring down into a well. And the well was known as the Well of Erd. And inside that well, there were 3 Norns, as they were called, 3 unmarried women who were, well, like the fates in Greek mythology, responsible for what went on in people's lives. Now that well was also the home of the runes themselves. And by staring down into that well, upside down, without eating or drinking for 9 days and 9 nights, the runes slowly came up to the surface and revealed themselves to him and revealed the sacred mysteries which were contained within them. Now this particular rune is Sowelo. It refers to the sun, to spiritual power and enlightenment. Now it is also bringing you success and personal growth. Now Sowelo is the sun, an illuminating force that breaks through darkness and doubt, creating growth and expansion for you. Now, it is both the goal and the active-willed action towards it that's important for you, your purpose, and your inner self. Now, sitting next to it on the left, and that's before I pull out and discuss further what's going on, is this Hebrew letter here. Well, this is Teth, which I'm pretty sure is the 9th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Well, that letter Teth, the letter has a literal meaning of basket or nest, which you can see from the shape, I suppose. And it is the symbol of the good in all of creation. It has to do with purity and impurity, teaching you to choose the good, and also the realization that even within the bad things that happen, there is hidden good. Now, Teth also represents femininity, pregnancy. It includes within it the kindness and mercy of creation, and the principle that everything is eternal and nothing is ever lost. Now, the essence here really is that of the feminine for me, and it represents the number 9 months of pregnancy, for example. And actually, if you look at it, it's sort of shaped like a womb, a spiral, a container where things change and transform. It is the field of manifestation, the essence of the feminine that contains all within her. The infinite is contained in Teth, and it brings about space, time, and matter. So it's Leo, ruled by the sun, is what I see clearly from these things that are around it here. And with Uranus exalted. And it says to me that you're going to have a great passion within you. There's a multi-dimensional creativity, great talent, physical strength, and the integration of your animalistic energies. I also see that you are now going to be overcoming old fears and conditionings here, because there is a great courage and strength within you, and there's a control of your life forces. Now, this can also indicate a great love affair as well. What we have here is also almost a representation of divine intoxication, divine ecstasy, divine madness. Well, the shaman lady here, she may well be intoxicated. And it symbolizes, I think, different viewpoints which now unite and come together as a single force in one burst of experience for you. I do think that this is going to present you with the challenge where you look at what a conventional understanding of what a spiritual path is and what it should be to suit you, what it's like, and what qualities it has. Now, this is also saying that you are not going to be punished by a God who has any moral issues about your love life. of course, provided that they are lawful and between consenting people. So guilt and self-inflicted punishment are wrong in this area. This can also relate, I think, for you having a real passion for a particular situation or a person. You're going to be engaging in life to the fullest, and you'll be comfortable with your sexuality. Do you know, accept your sexual desires for what they are, rejoice in them, but don't let them throw your life off balance. There is here also, as I say before, and it's coming up, a passionate relationship with a sexual and emotional intensity. Also, this here, the energy of you doing something just because you love doing it without overthinking it, you know. Now, if you are ready to accept all that you find in yourself, you'll be able to move through everything with deep sensitivity, awareness, love, and understanding. What areas of your life would you like to live out more fully? And what has prevented you from doing so in the past? Are you ready to deal with that again? Take everything in with more awareness now. Do you know, we often experience emotions such as love, sadness, pain, rage, or fear as obstacles only because we've never learned how to use them as firewood to throw into the fire and to create more energy for us. But this is a time definitely when you should be saying, I enjoy expressing my energy, vitality, and my enthusiasm in all that I experience. I am a person of character and strength. I have unlimited creative resources to tap into and express, and I enjoy living life to the utmost. Now, what's next? I think we might go up this diagonal now. So what's in the center here? This looks like the Chariot. Well, that's unusual. Now, looking at this Chariot, well, look, it's a boat with wheels. A lot of Cancer energy around here as well, I've got to say, has been depicted in here, and I agree with that. But what's going on here? There is, what we can see here is well, this boat rushes through a rough sea, doesn't it? Now, the boat is red, which is the color of energy, and a red glow surrounds the person in the boat. And above is a mythical creature, part wild boar or pig and part wolf, and it signifies deepest fears, unnamed and wild, which you will be overcoming. Now, this rune that's sitting here is a form of Gebo, and it represents a gift or an exchange of something. It is the giver, the giving, the given, and that which is given to. Giving is an energy that joins people together, isn't it? Just as fire kindles more fire, the act of giving, it breeds gratitude, which in turn creates more giving. It's a cycle, you see, and it's as important as it is to learn to give without expectations. You must learn to receive graciously as well. Now, when I look at this Hebrew letter here, I see Tav, which is the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and it means mark or sign or omen or seal. It's the symbol of truth, of perfection and completion. And it represents the restoration of everything that's out there in existence. It's a return to the essence and purpose of your life. And it represents a completion before beginning again with the divine behind you. I think it also shows us that the end was set from the beginning. It's the idea that the Creator set in motion all of existence in order to reach a final state of perfection, the fulfillment of all of creation. It's also the completion of truth. Now, this is bringing about for you A new beginning, a change for the good, maybe looking inside of yourself and, as I say, looking at your spiritual path. Nevertheless, here there is a triumph in the face of adversity and overcoming problems and achieving success, probably with little or no support from anybody else. You might also be coming to the aid of someone else. There's definitely victory over adversity. I think you've come through something of a difficult period, and now you're going to overcome it, and you're going to have the courage to act. And you'll have success over previous negative patterns. There will be a focus on self-discipline here. I also get the feeling of it's almost like a calm after the storm. You're moving towards higher goals here as well. This is a turning point for you where things start to go in your direction. Now, this really is about victory and using your inner drive and willpower. Do you know, I think the oncoming changes promise to lead to a positive phase in your life. So ready yourself and put your affairs in order and examine all the possibilities which are in front of you. You are going to leave a lot behind, I think. Now, ask yourself this. In what area of your life will there be changes? And are you ready to ring out the old and ring in the new? So seek or create for yourself a loving, secure environment. And there you can plan the change or journey. Just got a feeling here that your body also needs some attention and activity now as well. Say this to yourself. I motivate others positively. I am responsible for what I cause. I accomplish things well and with ease. And I am putting my life in order and preparing for the new beginning. Now, what's up the top here? Let's have a look. And it is the star. Let's have a look at these. Let's have a look at the image. And what do you see? Well, what I see is I see a woman at the bottom of a bare, rocky hill where a stream of water splashes into a pool. Now, she's washing her hair, which is an act of unity with the earth. Now, her hair, it seems to blend into the water, doesn't it? Now, there are no flowers or trees growing. There's only water and rock, which are, of course, the planet's oldest forms. And above her are a cluster of stars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with counting this little one in here, 7 small stars and 1 large double star. Now, this rune that's there, that's Awaz, and that is bringing wisdom, the mystery of life and death, almost passing through a gateway. It also represents a tree. I think the tree was called a yew tree, the tree of life and death. Yet, this death is not final. It's simply a transition, a gateway through which we must pass to birth something new. Now, with any new life, it requires some sacrifice, leaving behind something old to make space for what is to come. And the Hebrew letter that we see there, well, that is Sadi, which is the 18th letter. And it represents someone who is just. It also represents the fairness, the righteousness of the Creator. Now, the person who is just seeks to be true, and they love justice and fairness, and they're straight and fully honest with their conscience. And the idea is that the world is broken so that every person must face their own evil and learn to restore it. Now, the literal meaning of Zadi is fishing hook. So righteousness and humility, I think, are the 2 defining traits of this, and they will be with you during the period. And it signifies the essence of the Creator that gives life to all of matter and guides and dwells within you. Another trait here is hiddenness. The person who is right and just is hidden because they appear just as an ordinary person, despite actually having within them quite a developed spiritual a spiritual stature or presence. Now, this is Saturn ruling Aquarius. And I think what we'll have for you here now is a time of great inspiration, things crystallizing for you, a self-recognition, a radiating, clear vision of yourself and what you want, and a trust in yourself. You might also find that you do connect to universal intelligence. This speaks of hope, happiness, opportunities, and optimism, cosmic blessings coming down upon you here. So you'll be inspired and fulfilled by life. And it's a reminder to follow your dreams, those that give you the most inspiration. And again, encouragement is now being given that you have had some tough times in the past, but now is the time to move forward with renewed hope and live an inspired life that you can express yourself fully in. Say this to yourself: my creative powers of imagination and connection to all-encompassing consciousness, they show me the way to realize my ideas. And we turn finally to this daughter of swords in the south. Well, isn't this an interesting... This is Isis, who was the goddess, and beside her is Hathor, that was like the cow goddess that speaks of ecstasy, sexuality, joy, drinking, dancing, and just having fun. Isis was married to Osiris and brought him back to life after he was killed by his brother Seth. So you are going to be clever in practical matters, especially when there are arguments. Now, you might find that you could be aggressive and vengeful at some points, and you'll be very outgoing in your manner, but you'll be able to get your ideas grounded in a tangible way. Now, sometimes you might think that you are fighting battles inside and outside, and you'll be following your own bent rather than serving someone else, and in due course, it will become apparent to those people who are shocked by that you've ultimately done the right thing and gain as your reward. You're going to throw over a lot of holy altars, I think, during this period. Cast them aside. Now, what thoughts and visions may at times destroy holy altars? Don't let yourself get buried by the flying debris, and don't allow your moods to take hold of you. And remain true to your ideals. And say, my rebellion is positive, constructive, and creative. Well done, you. I told you it was an interesting deck, didn't I? And I hope you enjoyed that reading as much as I did providing it to you. Now, unless I see you privately for a reading or for a healing, then of course I'll see you again next month. And until then, though, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.